Okay. Got a special guest today. Jared, you've heard him here before, but this week we're dealing with a whole different animal.
No, we can't do it, dude.
Jared's got multiple personalities. It's not a disorder. He just has multiple
Oh,
personalities.
yeah. No, this is like if you had if you could act.
There's the family man, right? We all know the family man.
Absolutely. There's actor slash model.
There's the actor slash model. There's the barista. And then there's the musician.
And then there's... Here we go, dude.
So I can't tell you when the album drops. I can't tell you who's producing it.
The positive vibes are through this. Anyway, welcome to the Cat and Cloud Coffee Podcast.
Highly productive week this week.
Jeez Louise, yeah, it is, and it was, and I'm tired. I'm like slouching in my chair waiting for my car to come back for my oil change.
It drives itself. It's going to drive itself back.
I hope so, man, because I don't want to drive it home.
It's a Tesla that he put a motor swap in, so it's still got self-driving, but he has to change the oil and do smog.
And I can't drive.
It's
I don't know how.
I don't know how to drive.
I never learned. It has been a highly productive week. Very great brain stuff. Feel like we got into our lanes. There's like a lot of good stuff. So it's Friday. You're going to leave to go up to Seattle to talk with mahlköenig.
We're going to Seattle.
Learn about grinders.
Mark and Weiser and I to talk to the crew at mahlköenig at their offices up there. Part of the Hemro group.
Oh, the hemorrhoid group? What'd you just say?
Hemro?
I don't know Hemro.
So Hemro is the group that mahlköenig is a part of.
Whoa.
So they own Ditting and Anthem and
Really?
I think somebody else. Yeah, there's like 4 grinder manufacturers under one umbrella.
Wow.
And I'm actually curious to talk to them about that and how they structure that, how they, work with each individual brand
Hemro.
to see like what's right for who.
Yeah.
How do you market multiple things at the same time?
Is that
under
so?
one
Hemro's who bought it back, like, because I'm remembering when like Pete Licata was deep in connection with like the mahlköenig original, whatever was going on, and then mahlköenig sold. It was to Hemro, or like somebody took over.
Pete was working with, I don't know how the timeline worked out.
Oh, it's okay.
Because we had a relationship with GHGBS, which is
Right.
where we bought all of our stuff.
And that was after.
We kind of colloquially referred to them as mahlköenig, even
Sure.
though they weren't actually mahlköenig. They're our distributor. But yeah, I can't remember. I remember when Ditting sold.
Right.
And I wasn't sure if they were purchased by mahlköenig or purchased by the group and then got rolled into the group. I don't know much about it at
Guess you're about
all.
to find out.
And I had no idea until recently that Anthem was under that
Hemro. Okay.
umbrella. So
Cool. Well,
yeah, we're gonna go talk to Samuel, who's their director of sales operations for North America.
and you get to hang out in Seattle for a day or so.
Really quick overnighter. And I told Mark. He was too scared to take me up on it, but he'd never been there before, has never been to Seattle.
Mark's never been to Seattle?
Mark's never been to Seattle. It's like, stay for multiple days. Like, stay extra. I'll come home. You just stay. And he's going to go back at some other juncture. So we're doing a quick hit. Going to see the dudes at Cosmonaut, see some of Mark's friends, do some basically quick coffee hit.
Yeah, super
for
fast.
the day. Yeah, have some dinner. Record a podcast, record some video.
Okay.
Seattle's awesome. It's just a big spread out city. There's a lot of
you
different...
have to cover distance.
Yeah, you can spend a whole day in any of the neighborhoods. So you can spend a whole day in Ballard.
Yeah.
Whole day running around Capitol Hill, downtown.
Yeah, it's super pretty.
Spend a day on the ferry, going to weird islands.
Aliens, space needles, the whole
Wherever
nine.
we went. I can't remember what the name of the island was.
The one.
Yeah,
famous one.
Yeah, it was nice.
For Bainbridge.
Yeah.
Got me.
Nice and cozy.
That was pretty.
It's kind of almost raining, I feel like.
Yeah,
we were
your
on the
arm was in
ferry.
a sling.
Yeah.
You had a nice dangle arm.
Had a dead arm.
It was great. We
Had
made
a
some
chicken
video.
leg arm.
We made some great video.
Yeah, that'll be super fun. I feel like I have a lot of things
dancing around in our mind.
In my mind.
Dang, bro. That's why we've been working so hard this week.
I know.
We've never worked before until now. So
it's the first week we've actually done work, and it's been really rewarding.
Jeez, it's been so tired.
It's been really rewarding to do that work.
I roasted some coffee on the fly today. We don't ever have Nicaraguan coffees, and we do right now. Las Papales, and it's delicious already, but I was playing with some roast styles that might be helpful when Dulce competes in Brewers Cup, and we'll try to play around with some of that just because stylistically, we got a mix of all sorts of fun things we could do. But
what'd you do with it?
Nothing crazy. I just was.
Don't be modest.
No. It's a real nice curve. We got standard ROR, reduction the whole time. All that's the same. It's just a little bit long in terms of time, a little bit less development percentage, but time-wise, it's still as much or more than anything we currently do. And it's a little lighter end temp, and that's like, when you go to, we'll see how it tastes. My assumption and hope is that it's going to be sweeter around the board. It's going to be really clean and complex, and it's going to have a lot of that nuance and the aromatics and all those varietal characteristics that are needed to be very, very clear to win those kind of competitions or to do well in them, right? It's like, it's not the best for most guests in the world. And I was even trying to like record along the way and be like, look, the 1%ers like coffees that are like Nordic region coffees, Nordic vibes. I'm saying Nordic for people who don't really follow what that means. Just like for a long time, Scandinavian coffees were quite a bit lighter than the rest of the things we do in the States. Now the States are doing, and a lot of these companies are doing coffee like that. And it's really yummy. It's really exciting. And it's also coffee that most people in the world wouldn't drink every single day. And that's totally fine. But we don't put out coffees like that, even though we have coffees that could be amazing if we were to roast them like that for that demographic. So I wanted to play with it. And we are looking for a menu slot or two where we can have a space for that. It's just a little bit of an evolution on our approach. And it's truly for those people who want to nerd out on all of the aromatics and nuances of specialty coffee and not necessarily get like that really balanced, delicious, easy to make cup. Right. It'll take professionalism to make that coffee taste good. Well, it'll take more understanding of extraction to make that coffee taste its best. That's the way I should say that, right?
You got to brew it in a very specific way, and if you don't, you might end up feeling like there's something wrong with this.
Which is honestly, I think, a pretty unique thing I've been hearing more and more in the industry is that a lot of people are we've gotten to a place where people attach ratios and they only go by ratios, which is great. It's a good help, but it's almost like espresso is a 1-to-2 ratio and we kind of stick to that around there, or it's a 1-to-3, or it's like a 1. That's kind of it. Like, but there's no like playing around so much. And there's also a lot of kind of being kind of stuck in that box. And there's just so much more complexity to coffee in general that while it makes sense because it's all a business and it's how do you teach people to get 90% of the way there, we also do this, right? You give people a ratio, you give them a recipe, you give them this amount of coffee in, give or take, this amount of coffee out, for sure, exactly, because we have scales and their ratios there, and then around this time window. It's like something you can do to help, but it's starting, I think, to be one of those spots where unless you're competing and you're trying to find that perfect spot, more people than not are kind of like, this is how it's supposed to be. And if the coffee doesn't taste good at kind of like this exact range, then it's not good coffee. And that's not the truth.
Yeah, because espresso is really just a brewing method.
Yeah.
And anything you put into the espresso machine and comes out, like
therefore
within
espresso.
a really broad parameter is espresso.
2 seconds or 35 seconds. So yeah, it's still espresso. It
can be a 5-second shot, or a 45-second shot.
Yeah, totally.
It's espresso. And the break is maybe somewhere at, I don't know what the upper end is if you're using it to do the like brewing coffee, like we were doing at Portola when we opened. We were doing the quote unquote coffee shots.
Fun to do that again,
where we had our espresso machine detuned, low pump pressure, specific baskets, specific temperature, and we're using it as a water delivery device, essentially making a pour over.
Yeah,
right. Because we weren't the first people that did that. I saw Kaminsky doing it, I think, before anybody else. But when you think about it,
well, the first ones who did it in a cafe, though, I think.
Yeah, I'd never had it in a cafe before ours. Because you think about if you think about a V60 or any kind of single serve pour over device and a portafilter, the surface area of the coffee is about the same. And the bed depth that you get in a deep basket, it's about the same. I mean, because you think about how much 20 grams of coffee, like 18 to 20 grams of coffee is in a V60. It's only like yay big.
Totally.
It doesn't spread out that much more than it would in a portafilter basket.
No, it's this little conical situation.
Yeah,
totally.
So as long as you got enough bed depth in there, you're dialed. So we used that. That was fun. So that's, arguably it's not espresso. We were making brewed coffee with it, using it as a pour machine.
We should totally
everything else
do that
is
again.
espresso. I'd be down to try it again.
We could get that better now. for sure.
Make it pop.
We know some things. Yeah.
Were we doing paper filter in there too? Did
No.
we put AeroPress filter in there? I can't remember if we did or not.
No, we thought about it.
We thought about it.
I think we played with it a little bit both ways, but we didn't make the team at the time. We kind of like, yeah. Anyways, we could figure it out. It's a whole situation. We also didn't. There's so much we could do with that we didn't do. It's like we didn't tamp it at all. We didn't R&D it as deeply as we could. I bet you we could actually do a light tamp on it. Different things that we used to not consider, and
yeah, we were burning through.
Grind,
we were burning
blah,
through
blah,
a lot
blah.
of stuff.
But we were also opening a company.
We were opening our first business ever,
creating everything at the same time.
The whole world. And
it definitely tasted good. I think it's just it required a little more.
It needed more R&D.
Yeah,
I agree with you,
and a little more like attention in general too, like from coffee to coffee.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Which is kind of what you're saying about espresso. It's like, okay, cool. Yeah. 1 to 2, 1 to 3. But those aren't blanket ratios for every coffee, every style. There's all these different ways you might go about exploring with espresso, depending on what kind of coffee you got and what you're trying to do with it.
Yeah.
And I think there's probably a couple things. Like, one is when you're new, you'll get locked into your thing. So if your first experience with espresso is at a place like ours or whatever your job is, they probably have a standard ratio that they brew espresso with. So you're pulling the same espresso all day at the same spec. So you're kind of locked into where it's like, cool, like 1 to 2. Yeah, that's just what it is.
And you get used to flavors similar to whatever that is.
Right.
That feel right.
100%.
Yeah. It's hard to overcome that, honestly, unless you geek out.
It really is. Yeah. You got to be really intentional about tasting a lot of coffee made a lot of different ways, and you have to have an open mind about it.
Big time.
You have to put aside, I like this better, to, oh, that's interesting, and I can see why some people like this.
Right.
So it's okay to still have your favorite and also understand that it's not for everybody. And I think that's a sticking point for me, like with a lot of coffee professionals.
Well, I mean, I've been having a lot of fun. I mean, I like tasting coffee, right? But I've been able to get back and forth to New York, and then Rachel will take me to different places to taste coffee, and we'll taste espresso, and it'll be like whatever the perception is, but she'll describe it, and then I'll just be so interested and be like, okay, so what are you tasting versus what I'm tasting and how you perceive it? Because it's not like wrong or right. It's just like the way she tastes it versus how I do. And I'm like, I won't always agree. No, that's actually not the right way. I will hear like how she describes it, and then I'll be like, okay, where are you tasting? She'll be like, that's really sweet. And I'll be like, okay, for me, it's not, but it's not that it's not sweet. It's just like the perception of balance leads me to think about something else first. You know what I'm saying? So like if a coffee is balanced in the way that I'm picturing it with sweetness, there still will be sweetness in another coffee, but when maybe the acidity is way above it or something else outshines it,
right?
Like it's not wrong that somebody else perceives sweetness. It's just not, I don't picture the coffee as sweet first. I picture it as juicy and acidic, and then there is sweetness in it. And it's just a description thing, but I find that very interesting when people are calibrating how they experience something.
Yeah. Because you're hitting on two different things. One, sweet is always interesting to me because I'll break sweet up into different buckets. It's like, which sweetness are we talking about?
That's
are we talking about that bright, juicy sweetness that's like flirting with acidity,
right? Like fruit sweet.
Yeah, or fruit sweet. Or are we talking about chocolate sweet, like nougat sweet?
Right.
Both of those things are sweet, right? Yeah. Is it like raw sugar sweet?
Right. Caramely sweet.
Caramelization. Yeah. So both of those things are sweet, but completely different manifestations.
And they're
both
real too, right? There's inherent, and then there's impactful based on roast.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is. Yeah. Okay. That's a whole different topic.
But that's where balance to me. So you're speaking to how you and I understand coffee, right? The balance of those two, where you're getting both, is what I would consider a sweet coffee. And that's not to say that they're not, but like the sweetest ones have both of those things to me.
Right. So for example, when we went to the Jimmy Butler pop-up, the coffee that I had, my espresso, was bright and juicy, but it did not have a ton of those low-tone, caramely, chocolatey sweetness things to it. But I could also see that in the absence of those, how do you visualize this? I love those tasting maps where you're plotting things.
Tasting map in their mind.
You're like plotting things on a circle.
Yep.
And you've got, maybe you've got acidity, sweetness, body, and you kind of draw draw basically what ends up looking like a star pattern where it's like this one is level 5, this one's level 2, this one's level 3. If you have something that's got an abundance of juicy sweetness, but it doesn't have a lot of that caramely bottom end, people might mistake it for being juicier than it actually is. You know what I mean? It might be just as juicy as another coffee that's got this big caramely bottom end, but when you taste that coffee with the big caramely bottom end and the juice, you're like, I don't know, it's not as juicy as the other one. It is. It's just got more of this other thing too.
Yeah.
So you're dealing with the perception of multiple things at once and being able to categorize, and it's just like, I don't know.
Totally.
Work through those is interesting.
Yeah. So, I mean, I find that really interesting. It's also really fun. And that's, I guess, if we're circling up to what I was trying in the roast profile, right? To take it longer, lower end temp. I'm trying to see if I can actually find a balance where it's like, this is actually very juicy in terms of acidity, also very sweet. It's probably going to have a little bit of a lacking body, but perhaps with the length of roast, I'll have imparted some, and then we can have all those aromatics. It might not be as sweet if I were to have maybe a slightly shorter roast at a higher end temp. It might have more sugar sweetness in that other one, but again, you might not have like the loudness and like the super clarity of that inherent tropical acidity that I think is what she will potentially need to be. Like in competition, you need these things to be really clear and obvious, right? So for our guests, they need to be drinkable and delicious, and a lot of them, we need them to be able to add milk or cream to their coffee without it tasting sour. It's like one of the least cool things to me is people buying coffees thinking that they're going to have them in a way they like, and then them just being like, oh, the milk is sour now and I can't drink this coffee. So we don't do that intentionally. However, that doesn't mean that I don't love those kinds of coffees, and this is a fun way for me to express and experiment that. We'll see how it goes.
Right. So with your roast, in a nutshell, it's not as basic as this, but you're essentially going to be sacrificing some of that bottom end to bring out the clarity on the top end.
Absolutely.
Because you want that. I'm biting into a fresh mango kind of feeling because that's going to score
really well. And I want to be really ripe as I can get it without putting any as much caramelization as I can get in there without sacrificing that obvious fruit side.
Right, because if you go too far the other way, then you end up with a sour mango.
Exactly.
And
I'm hoping we don't have
not a sweet, juicy mango. Oh yeah, we've been going to pick strawberries because Eleanor loves picking strawberries.
Dude, yeah,
and they're just they're
really good right now.
On fire right now. You bite into them. Like when I was a kid, we would have strawberries and we'd eat them, like dip them in sugar and eat them.
Yeah, totally. Different world.
And then when you get the ones that are just so ripe, it almost tastes like somebody added sugar to them.
For sure.
Crazy.
And they're really complex. And so you can't stop eating them. They're like addicting.
No, they're addicting.
Yeah, I love it.
I'll eat like 10 of them and then put a bunch in my yogurt. And then, but it's like the difference between that and then biting into one that's still a little green, and you're just like, oh,
it's very sour.
Very sour, face changer, not pleasant at all. You don't want to go there in the roasting. That's not going to go.
Yeah, it's not going to go well. It's not as good as it could be. Not what you want. And so that's that's something I did today that was fun. But I'm also doing that very specifically because I'm less familiar with Nicaraguan coffees. And so I'm not going to have as much of a bias towards what I want it to taste like.
Yeah, you're not attached to anything. Yeah,
it's
like kind of nice.
The least attached that I've been to a coffee, although I'm really liking I've had a couple cups of it and it's delicious. So props to Dulce for picking a fun coffee, and props to Johnson, the roastery, and Connor and all them for making it taste good already. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be fun. We'll see. It could be one of those ones that she could play with, but I think she's got a better plan because Nellian Guzman's special coffee is very cool and delicious, and he had a natty that
special coffee, special story,
special
gotta
connection.
Have special story.
Yeah, and I think that's the jam. But I'd love to be able to help, make it as easy as possible for us to take some approaches on it when the time is right, and to be close versus having to start from scratch. Just because Johnson and that team doesn't have a lot of experience in roasting any other way than we've taught them, and that's great.
That's great.
It's great. It's super fun. They're so hungry and they love to learn and experiment as well. But sometimes when you have to start from scratch, it's like overwhelming to kind of decide what you want to do, So, and I just like doing it. It gives me a way to touch the coffee.
Touch the coffee.
Love to touch the coffee, man.
Jared wants to touch the coffee.
I do. I love to touch it. There's 2 bags over there. Also, not to mention, like 2 different grind settings, and you can smell even the same exact coffee pulled out of the tray 5 minutes after, ground at 2 different grind settings, you can smell one smells a little more fruity than the other. And it's like...
What grind settings?
I went for one because we have it in there. We have our cheat sheet. One of them says like cupping and Chemex, and then the other blessings. Chuck's over there. And
I had to recalibrate because we just redid the wheel on the EK43. So we used to have the big numbers, and now we have all the little numbers.
We have drip and we have the Chemex one. I went a little bit finer than what we have for drip. And then I went a little bit coarser, and they're like a full number apart, a little bit coarser than the Chemex one. Because I'm like, well, anyways, whatever. That's just, I'll let them figure that out. But Chemex and drip aren't too different depending on the amount of coffee. They're the exact same thing. But
there's a few of the same things going on that board that
I know,
they're worth checking in on.
Well, we'll get there, but they have their reasons, and there's whatever the case may be.
There's drip, pour over, and Chemex.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like,
this is awesome.
I'm like, yep. But hey, man.
Respect to the game.
If I'm doing a Chemex, it's usually for more than 1 cup of coffee. So I was like, okay, that's that. I saw it honestly looked a little bit fine, but I was not comfortable going up as high as it was going to say for full drip. So I went a little finer, and we're going to see. Either way.
I was doing a little finer because I noticed cuppings.
So you're my guy. Yeah, totally.
A little bit finer. Yeah, so that's how I skew.
We're there, dude. Same page.
Been grinding.
But you can, if you went over and grabbed those coffees and smelled them side by side, you'd be like, oh, one of these smells a little more fruity. They're also the coffee I roasted this morning, and good news, they have like some great aromatics already, so that's fun. Can't wait to taste it. I love to just develop the bean at home too. The sweetest.
When are you gonna get into home roasting?
I already am, man.
This is your home.
This is
your home, and I'm roasting in it.
This is my home with you guys. We all have a home here. Come in. It. We just invited people in from outside right now. That was great.
If you come in, we'll walk you through here.
When you're here, your family, and that's not because of Olive Garden. Remember?
Is that Olive Garden?
Yeah, when you're here, your family.
Your family. Also, good bag redesign meeting.
We did
not redesign.
A bag reimagination and updating to work towards what? Sustainable packaging, more
sustainable packaging and better pricing on bags, and the ability to not have to put labels on our staple bags.
Because we're not trying to label it. Okay.
I'm not trying to label you. I just want you to be who you are. Exactly. I want you to express yourself.
Look, we have a relationship.
You're Jared, and one day you might get up and feel this way. The other day you might get up and feel the other way. And
you already talked about my multiple personalities at the beginning of the podcast.
So many personalities, and I just want to see them all. It's fine.
Yeah. Do you think Chuck would love the Jared fucking Monty song or what?
I think Chuck would laugh to make you feel good.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
I think...
He'd be like, haha.
I think Chuck would be supportive and then go back to his business is what I think Chuck would do.
I'm not here to listen to music. I'm here to fucking focus, okay?
As Barry knows, Chuck's like, geez, when's Jared going to stop talking? This is why podcasting is a perfect medium for Jared.
Yeah, dude. As soon as Barry and I can link up and get our predictive index locked in, we're good to go.
He wants to be seen.
And heard.
Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Barry.
Thanks, Bear. I feel like we're great guys right now.
Jared's on fire right now.
No, it's one of those things we got things
Jared's
hanging.
with me, but he's not really with me. You know what I mean?
Because I'm annoyed that my car is taking so long for just an oil change. I'm like, just freaking, I'm so glad I didn't wait. I almost told them I'd wait, and they're like, well, it's going to be like about lunchtime. And then I have to go to work because I have a meeting.
It's going to be about 4 p.m.
Yeah, I'm like,
you can pick it up.
Exactly. And then I'm going to sit in traffic with somebody in a Lyft. Will they take me back there?
That's going to be a wild one.
I know.
I feel like I can barely Uber or Lyft in town. Something about it that just drives me nuts now.
Well, I think what it's going to be really annoying is that I feel like if I called them, that they'd be like, oh, yeah, it's done. And they were just going to like wait till the end of the day to send the Uber because it's easier. That's how I feel. And that's what makes me mad. That might
be right.
I know, man.
Let's call them right now on air.
Remember, I wanted to do that once. Remember when they left the food in my car? And I wanted to call them on air?
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a $200 credit still to use at some point.
Tap in, dude.
I don't need to quite yet, but I freaking will. That's a fact.
Stack up some more credits, dude. Oh, yeah. And tomorrow, which will be over by the time y'all hear this.
We'll see who's updated.
Round 2 of the Central Coast Latte Art series. So
will there be a new leader?
What?
Will there be a new points leader?
I hope so. It's more interesting if someone overtakes.
Yeah.
You know, it's more boring if the same person.
There's people who are close, obviously. The top 3 are close.
Yeah, there's 3 or 4 people who are just really in the mix. But then number one could bomb.
Right.
I'm super psyched to go because Tyler's running point because it's at Captain and Stoker in Monterey. So I'm there. I'm there to support and provide the help, but I don't feel the weight of doing the whole damn thing, which is great.
Yeah.
I got all the prizes in my car to give away. And Tyler, dude, I need that fucking money, bro. I need that money. All right?
It sounds like
I'm trying to get reimbursement from Chuck, and he's like, you get it from your people first. And I'm like, that's actually smart.
So the internet needs to start, if you want to hit him up and put a little pressure on him for Chris.
Yeah, just everybody pile on Tyler. That's Dirt Surfer. Go follow Dirt_Surfer. Tell him to pay me.
Invoices are out, dude. I needed it. Yeah, I did. I get paid too.
I think we need a third judge. You want to judge, Jer?
Nope. I do actually, but my human daughters are with me, and they will probably not love me being there until whatever time of the night.
They want to judge?
They would definitely judge. They'd love it. The people would be pissed.
I don't know.
I mean, they wouldn't be able to be pissed at the kids, but then they'd also be like, fucking got kids here? Kids don't know anything about latte art.
Latte art's just dead serious, bro.
Yeah, dude. They're just going to pick the one they like the best. I'm like, yeah, that's a latte art. That's the whole point.
I was a hall monitor.
Yeah.
This was meant to be.
I practice this all the time, and I looked on the internet, and I know exactly what they want. Anyway.
Pretty psyched, dude. I'm pretty psyched. I'm just trying to get you going, dude. I'm trying to get you going. It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. My brain is tired. No,
but it's like a casual Friday episode.
It's a Friday afternoon episode. I used a lot of brain power this week with stuff, and it's still going. I don't like having open tabs. That's my problem. And we have a lot of open tabs in my brain.
Isn't that life, though?
Yeah, but these are like, they're open tabs that I feel like we have great insight on where we need to go with them. And because it's like kind of in waiting period to take the actions across the board in probably like 4, 5, 6 different areas right now.
A lot of areas.
It's a lot of areas, and they're all very positive. So that's for me. I think it's a little bit of one of those where it's like hungry to move and having to wait. It's great patience practice, but it's a lot of open tabs. And then it makes you, for me, I like keep thinking about different angles on them while they're open until we can execute, because then you try to reformulate to make sure you have the best approach. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Whether I like it or not, it's happening.
Yeah.
So that's my issue.
I feel that.
So if I'm sitting around waiting for my car, it's even worse because I can't go out and like exercise, and I can't go sit out in the sun with my shirt off or something ridiculous right now because I'm right near our own cafe.
Both of those things you can't do without a car.
Well, I can definitely do them, but I'm in like right next to our cafe. They're like, oh, there's the owner with his shirt off. Like all of our team members walk out. Yeah, exactly.
What's up?
Like I'm just trying to get like really reset.
It's
freaking doing some push-ups out here in the sun. Like, whoa, you have a back tattoo? Yep. Don't look at me. Don't.
What open tab are you the most excited about getting to work on that you can share? Or do you feel like they're all secret tabs?
I don't think I can technically share any of them without kind of committing to, without making the world feel like we're committing to something that's part of the open tab situation. Is it's like precipices also of the next things without full yeses. I think they're all going to happen though. That's part of it. So no, unfortunately, I can't, with the exception of what I already did.
This is called building tension.
Yeah.
Right? We're building tension.
Yeah. I roasted some coffee in a style that might be conducive to barista competition and or Brewer's Cup. I'd say actually that's the best thing I can give you insight to, because Dulce is interested in competing and we're going to support her. I go to Honduras as well. I guess that's one thing. So I guess like okay. I can talk about.
We get into it right now, dude. I'm just like poking the bear.
You poked it. I mean, we're gonna attempt to see if there's a way to expand Best Friends Club outside of our walls with assistance from San Vicente, and I'm going to essentially pitch Ben Hameen and that whole situation on how it could work based on what the three of us and Dulce have come up with. And it could be really, really awesome. That would allow other companies to dive in without us having to be gatekeepers. So we have a proposed idea, and now everybody in the world knows that. We'll see if it works. And if it doesn't work, it's not like going to be something against Ben Hameen or San Vicente. It just might be something that we don't understand that does or doesn't work on their side. So that's something that's an open tab that I'll be able to at least dive into in 2 weeks.
That'll be I'd be really interested to see how that works out. So Same. We have a group of farmers that we work with in the Best Friends Club. For every pound of their coffee that we sell, we donate $1 back to the communities. We've been doing it through Ben Hameen. He's like the liaison at Origin. And two things that we're kind of running into. There are some of the people that we're working with can grow faster than we can buy all of their coffee.
Yeah.
So one of the one of the challenges is, how do we get their coffee in front of more potential buyers and buyers who will honor the same pledge that we've made to support that Best Friends Club style, so that we can keep raising money for those communities.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one.
That is one.
That's just like the get the coffee in front of other people.
Yep.
And like figuring out, gosh, how formal do we want to be with it?
Yeah.
Because we've never operated you have something like Transfair doing fair trade, and there's these really strict guidelines on everything, and they're the gatekeeper of the whole thing. And that's not really what we do as a company, but we still want to figure out a way to make it official if possible.
Yeah.
We feel like it's a initiative that would benefit a lot of people. So we
totally
don't need
worthwhile.
to be the only ones carrying the torch on it. If more people participate and figure out like, what's our role? How much oversight do we have? How does the whole thing work? Is pretty interesting. How do we work? Who do we work with to make it transparent and everybody able to see what's going on?
Absolutely.
So there's the coffee portion, and then there's the admin portion.
We have the whole proposition
of the whole thing, and it's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, the idea is definitely worth being a part of. There's definitely a bunch of companies who are interested in a bunch of amazing coffee people who would like to be in it and a part of it, and then it's just kind of from there. It is a whole project that we just don't have the people power to manage in a way that makes it properly, fully official for everybody and gives it its parameters, I guess, its rules. So we made all of those in concept, and anyway, we'll see what happens. I'll have to talk more about that, because walking through it now is unhelpful, considering it all could change and or not work at all. But either way, the Best Friends Club will live in Cat and Cloud. It's just there's I think an opportunity for it to be its own thing, and that's rad. People often were like, what's the benefit for Cat and Cloud having it? I was like, well, there's not specifically a benefit for Cat and Cloud. It never came out of that. It came out of helping farmer partners and believing in something that could be unique and special and helpful, and then seeing it work. That's all it is. So there's no like other concept behind it, except for if it gets bigger, that'd be great.
It's a source of passive income. You can give us $5 a pound for your certification.
Yeah, dude. There you go. That's our new hotness. We'll just freaking
we can
sign up for my class.
Buy Lambos. We'll be dialed, dude.
Absolutely. Anyway,
Jared won't have to use AI to make songs. He'll hire like 30 real people that just live at his house.
That's it's starting. Yeah,
he'll have a whole orchestra there.
Exactly.
It'll be incredible.
That's the whole point of where I'm at now. Is I'm putting together stuff, so eventually all those people and I'll make a whole real live album and play a live show.
I'm sick of dictating to this phone. I'm going to dictate to humans.
I'm having to micromanage you a little too much, Suno. And look, all these scenes are getting out of hand.
I got to tell you, we're cutting the flautist this week. So all you bassoons got to step up. Okay?
All you bassoons step up, and hey, cello.
We don't have that high end anymore, so we're going to have to really crank the low.
I'm going to throw an octave shifter on this thing, and we're going to rage.
Don't worry about it.
Good talk.
We'll put the link to the music in the bio.
Yeah,
okay?
it's going to be good.
See you later.
Hey everyone, that's the podcast for the week. Thanks so much for listening. If you heard something that inspired you, or if you heard something that gave you more questions than answers, send us an email to podcast@catandcloud.com. And if you're looking to know more about us, then head to our website at catandcloud.com, where you can find everything we have to offer. A great place to start would be The Answer, our house coffee that's right for any occasion. Or the Best Friends Blend, a coffee that tastes just as good as the good it does by donating $1 per pound back to our partnering producers. Also, if you're feeling extra friendly, connect with us in the usual places, like YouTube, Instagram, pretty much everywhere that's hip. All right, that's it. Thanks for being awesome, everyone, and we'll be back next week.